see. What's up, y'all? I will be. That's not what I want. Digging deeper into this app here. Okay, so I have a couple files inside of a research folder, and they are just copy paste versions of different you know relevant tweets, like tweet articles or tweet publications that have been floating around the space um, over the past. So there's typically two sides of the context engineering. Well, there's many different parts, but at least where all the buzz has been around memory versus context graphs. And yeah, I've taken these. Hang on one second. I also have WoW going here, and I just found somebody right next to me. Okay, that person's dead. So let's see. The research draws a critical line between memory, what you have, stores facts, preferences, user state, team size. Sarah works at Acme, great for retrieval and personalization. Context graphs are what you don't have, which is the decision traces, why stuff happened, and then what happened as a result of it. The two clocks problem. State clock, what your system has. What's true, memory facts, CRM shows a closed deal. So these are facts, or really messages about the current state. Um, then we have event clock, what happened, when, and why. Okay, temporal validity. This is an important one. It's just what is still relevant. Yeah, this is a big one. So most systems can tell you what's true now. Almost none can tell you what was true at a specific point in the past. So that's good. Mm, What is solved is essentially, database schemas is really all it is. A person can only be described in a few ways. I mean, you can have many different properties on a person, but it's generally the same name, email, ID, stuff like that. What's unsolved? We talked about that. Your implementation uses custom categories, okay, instead of adopting schema.org, all right? Extract all facts and then deduplicate, okay. Fact resolution does where Kurt calls genuinely hard, comparing raw facts versus existing facts, using AI to determine same key, okay, yeah, okay. Doesn't block user experience, that's right. Source traceability, so we have exchanges. So anytime I send this message to the AI, and the AI, okay, let's take a step back. The AI has a question: what specific issues are you seeing with user engagement and retention that are making you feel like the app is struggling? And then I send this response. What happens is we create a request. We also we receive back a response, and then we create an exchange to connect the two. And then we use those exchanges throughout the nightly scheduled functions that will grab all the recent exchanges, grab all the requests and the responses, format it nicely, parse it nicely, and then we can work with that data, right? Let's say we pull out a couple facts, right? This message, again, this would result in a request, this orange block, a response, this gray block, and then an exchange which connects the two. Um, that exchange, when we want to grab the facts for that exchange, for that night, what we do is we would grab the exchange. That exchange would give us both of these, and then we could say, okay, a fact is that people tend to drop off after reaching level 5 because the grind is too hard. Right? That's a fact. We grab that, we create the fact in the database, and then we tie that fact to this exchange so that we know. And then this exchange is tied to a time period, and then we can get the other exchanges within the time period. All that beautiful stuff. Um, and from the temporal side, right, temporal here just means, Sarah works at, where does it say? Sarah works at Walmart right now, but in 6 months that might not be true, right? Being able to keep track of all that stuff. Right now, the drop off is level 5, but maybe in a year, the drop off is level 10. Um, um, right? So just being able to know, but then further being able to say, okay, but how did it go from 5 to 10? Five was the drop off level on January 5th, but on June 5th it was level 10. You know, let's go look at all of the context. That's a lot potentially, but let's go look at all the exchanges, all the information, all the summaries, etc. from those 6 months, and see what changed. And that's not really the approach that I'm taking. The approach is more so like we're doing this every day. So every day it's like, okay, it seems like it's getting a little bit better. It seems like it worked a little bit. So, or this worked, or that worked, or we had this conversation and it worked, etc. So yeah, that's the idea there. All right, so back to here. What's missing? No event clock. That's fine. We'll get there. We'll get there. No decision traces. You extract facts from conversations, but not reasoning that led to decisions. Okay, I actually have that thread in another thing here, which I have cursor open as well. So I will. I started talking about it. So I'll bring that over in a second. No temporal fact evolution. Very basic, but yeah, I agree. Nothing quite yet. No context graph structure. Okay, so I don't. I think my approach is a little bit different than, at least to start. I don't know that I want AI making these kind of assumptions or like, hey, this is what happened. X caused B. X caused Y. Um, I'd much rather say, I'd much rather the user, be prompted, hey, just how's the team been performing recently? And then the founder would say, oh, I actually brought on 5 new people, and ABC has been happening, right? So then at that point, then we capture the context. Because if you think about like a co-founder or a mentor, they're not going to know about these things unless you tell them. Um, so you would have a conversation with them, a meeting with them, or etc. And you'd be like, hey, this is what's been going on. Well, this is we grew fast and blah blah blah, and go from there. So instead of having AI kind of go and piece the things together, I'd rather them just like piece them together on the fly, and then it's up to the user to give the information. So yeah. Content graphs aren't just retrieval systems; they're simulators. Oh, sorry, I was up here. Not using standard ontologies, custom categories instead of schema. I don't really care for other systems, if I'm being honest. I'll just build the systems in here. Like I'll just build a Jira, I'll just build a CRM, I'll just add in a calendar integration. Like I definitely do not care about having these, a ton of these external tools. Eventually, I'm sure, but yeah, I'm not too pressed about that. I don't even know what ontology is. I think it's just like why, like how things are. Oh, yeah, so don't reinvent person, etc. I wouldn't say that I am, but yeah, it's okay. I'm not, yeah. The gap, memory versus world model. What you built is a memory layer. Okay, yeah, we're working towards this. So we got to build the memory layer first, and then go from there. So from context graphs aren't just retrieval systems, they're simulators. Okay. This is interesting. I've been thinking, I haven't thought about keeping track of why AI is making decisions or like what's going on with that. I've just been thinking about why, like the things that the conversation around users making decisions. Um, and I don't know, I think I would much rather have a system where, uh, much rather have a system, um, um, where AI is left and the reasoning that AI chooses stuff is left to the big dogs, right? It's left to Anthropic to or whatever model the user wants to use to um, give in a bunch of information and a prompter to, you know, make a decision. Yeah, I think it's up to me. It's up to our side to determine the information and the prompt that we give it. And then eventually we get bought up by them, and then they integrate, and then it's just all together, which is nice. What precedents influence this advice? So this is good, but this would be gathered more so from a question to the user. Um, so it's like, oh, you say you want to look at groups, right? Um, I like the group activity option, and that's what they move forward with. Um, what about groups stuck out to you, right? This is a notification that the app generates and sends to the user. What made you choose groups? And how is that going? What do you like? What don't you like? Do you regret it, etc.? And then the user responds, and then we grab context from that response and that conversation, as opposed to AI being like, okay, that happened, this happened, and therefore this is going on. I think a much better approach is just is to you know be person driven. If the user's team grows, I don't think this is the right way to do it. Or at least I don't think it's the way that I see it. So yeah. Okay, so I don't want the recommendations. That's fine. What do I want to do? I want to go over here and let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna get that file downloaded because I have started on the decision traces. I think that's important. I think that's the next step. Is given a series of exchanges, you know, grab some facts, grab some things, and then from there, grab some facts, and then from there, um, I'm gonna test some more exchanges, some different personas. I have some other fake personas. This is Marcus. Marcus has a fitness app. I have other things in there. Yeah, other personas. So we'll test those, and then we'll kind of figure out where the strong pieces are, where the bad pieces are of the prompting, of the context engineering that we have, and then iterate on that for a bit. And then once we have that down, then we'll say, then we'll add this temporal validity. But I do believe that the fact extraction and the reconciliation. Um, no, I don't know that it actually handles that at all. There's some piece to it, like it. Yeah. So we can figure that out. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, so that's going to create the document. And then I will ask this here. Okay, so I've already gotten, what is he calling, what is this calling it? The decision traces? Does this work? If I talk, does this work? Oh, nice. Let's do that. Okay, so I will share a link to, I need you to check inside of Mentor AI Mobile. We just created a brainstorming folder. And then inside of that brainstorming folder, there is a decision intelligence system.md. So I already started chatting with, I was using Cursor to come up with, hey football, what's up? Um, I'm beginning chatting with Cursor to kind of work through this business insight extraction, which will be another kind of function that is called with this, nightly run. Um, and what this is going to do is, so I'll leave it up to you to actually forget what we talked about. So I need you to review that. But that feeds into the decision traces. For decision traces, the approach. So if I go up, you have um, a section from Amanesh that says your system can answer a full context graph, could answer. Um, and then there's three X marks, and it says, why did the AI recommend strategy X instead of Y? What I don't want to do for this app is follow that cadence. Instead of changing how AI should behave, apart from the context that we provide it, the AI, we should leave it up to Anthropic or whatever model the user chooses, um, whatever LLM the user chooses, we should leave it up to them to like handle the AI making the right decision, right? All we care about is, did we extract out the, do we have, we're prompting the AI for whatever reason, we're sending a message. Did we give AI all of the best, like the best data possible, the best context possible? If the answer is yes, then we just leave it up to the model and then we make tweaks over time from that. But I don't want a system where we are trying to keep track of why the AI made decisions or how the AI made decisions. All I want is to keep track of how I, the individual, the user, and my business kept made decisions. And then from there, like I said, we'll just leave it up to the model to make that to piece together the dots, connect the dots. So okay, yeah. So go ahead. Let me undo this. Dictation. Oh. Don't tell me that's not going to work. Can I paste this? No. Okay, let me create a file. Okay. Good to know dictation doesn't work with Claude Code. Maybe it does, but I don't want to test it out at the moment. Okay, so I got decision trees in Mentor AI Mobile. You'll see a brainstorming folder. You to read the direction.txt and then the MD in there and tell me where we left off. Very cool. Very cool. I will say from a Claude Code perspective, we haven't gotten down to coding yet. I'm still doing a lot of planning right now and like brainstorming. So I haven't gotten down to actual coding. The cursor coding environment is great. It does what I need it to do. I don't really run into file. Sorry, I'm hugging myself. I don't really run into file permission issues, or I don't. Sorry, sometimes this headset turns off. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I haven't got down to code. I'm still doing a lot of planning right now, kind of like brainstorming with AI about AI. So it doesn't. Yeah, I don't really need to code just yet. Well, there's a lot of time in between my code sessions. Um, so yeah. Okay, so let's see what it said here. Guess I can hide this right now. So the vision clearly defined where you left off. What I don't want is I don't want to track why AI made decisions. That's true. I don't want to try to control or explain AI reason. That's true. Leave it up to them. So yeah, what I do want is to track user business decisions, not AI's decisions. Yes, capture what worked, didn't work for the user. Give AI the best possible context about past. Yes, let the model connect the dots for sure. Okay, so what's been planned? Spec doc that covers database schema. Okay, I'll work on the database schema. Just want to get the general kind of concept down now. Um, System architecture. So decision insights, user decisions captured, their pivots and all that stuff, their outcomes, how those decisions worked out. So this is something that's going to be delayed for right now because we want the insights. Um, we want the insights. Uh, so insights are a little bit different than the facts, which I think are expected. Um, yeah, so we'll do decision insights first. And I think instead of context links, so this is a document that ties decisions to the insights with the facts that they come from. Although I don't know, okay, all right, I see. Trying to extract insights from a summary of what was talked about. Right, because the fact is just yeah, it's just a summary of different small pieces of probably a summary and some um, of the actual conversation, and you're going to lose a bunch of stuff. Okay, let's see what I'll be honest, I'm not sure I'd like the Claude Code interface. I'll keep giving it a try, but I think Cursor's got the interface down. And because I code myself, I don't know that I need um yeah, I don't need the access privilege, you know. Okay, let's read the rest of this though. System architecture runs a third step after summarizer, after fact extractor. Two-phase AI extraction, decisions, then outcomes. So the outcomes, okay, so oh, where'd it go? It needs to retrieve, what am I trying to say? It needs to retrieve the relevant, right? Because I could say that there's an outcome, but then we never talked about it before. So, uh, yeah. And then you can get into the whole like, well, if you haven't talked about it, then then the AI should prompt a question and be like, hey, this first time I'm hearing about this. Like, tell me about this journey. Like, what was that like? What did you learn, etc. And then go from there. That's a whole different flow. Needs to retrieve the relevant business insights if available, and then connect the dots. Okay. Decision extraction prompt. Okay, I don't know. I don't know that I can keep going with Claude Code. I appreciate its its fanciness, but I just the UI being able to go into the code, like I should be able to click in. I would love to be able to click into here and see what we have and yeah, go from there. So I appreciate y'all watching. I'm gonna get reset up with with Cursor here. Thanks.